Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is David, this is DeMar's Coaching, and this is a Q&A video, question and answer video that I do every single Monday. And what I'm doing is I'm answering everybody's questions from the last Q&A video last Monday. Any questions you guys have today, please, everybody, ask me questions. Let's heal by understanding, learning, okay? Learn that we're not a bad person, just somebody treated us badly. So ask questions so you can figure that out, okay? Please ask questions. Ask me anything. Go down in the comment section. Ask me anything you want. I'll answer it in the next Q&A video next Monday, okay? Welcome new subscribers. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you for supporting my channel. I do a lot of work trying to help people recover. Just give people the information and answers they're looking for to recover from emotionally neglectful and abusive relationships. And what would really help me and what I'm doing is if you guys could support me in any way you can, some ways that you guys can do that is simply subscribe to my channel, like the video or dislike it, tell me why, ask me questions, share this, post this in different places for people to see it who might need it, okay? Thank you very much for doing that too. I really appreciate all your support. You guys have been wonderful, wonderful. Lots of great feedback, lots of support. So thank you. And you're supporting each other, which is wonderful. This is becoming a source for people to find information, help, and support. So it's just great. It's great. So lots of things to go over here. All I ask you guys, please, is give me locations. Tell us where you guys are from. Just shout out and say where you are, because it helps people realize that they're not the only one. And it's not just them that's experiencing this. This is a global thing. It's a human problem, not just societal, not just where you're at and things like this. Or at the workplace or anything like this. This is a big, big problem and it's on the rise. Okay, so if you guys could give me your locations, I'd really appreciate that. Something I like to do every once in a while is recommend something called Shane's Law Petition about Shane. Shane was a victim of a narcissistic smear campaign. It was ongoing, relentless, and it got into every little part of his life. And that's what narcissists like to do. They like to control you and abuse you and make you feel bad and want you to kill yourself. And this narcissist succeeded with Shane, got him to commit suicide. So somebody started a petition in his name so that there can be laws, more laws against stuff like this kind of social targeting. So if you guys could please follow the link below that says Shane's Law Petition, go there, sign it. It would be awesome, okay? Even if you're not in the United States, let us do it first and you guys copy and follow, okay? So next is donations. I got donations from Willa and Jeffrey. Thank you both very, very much. It's just amazing when someone gives you their hard-earned money, and it's you know, it's the thought, it's the effort, it's the work, it's the commitment, it's all of that. It's just a very, very kind gesture. Thank you both very, very much. I appreciate you too. I like to give a recommendation every single week. It could be an author, another channel. It could be supplements to take, something new to try to find yourself or feel better, or pamper yourself, or stop isolating, all these things. This week, I'm going to recommend something that I may have recommended before, and I didn't feel like going back to a year or 2, 3 years ago and see if I've recommended this before. So I thought, just recommend it again. This is about, you know, being introspective. This is about self-examining. This is about growing, finding who we are. So why not, all of you, take a personality test? And for those of you who don't know what that is, this isn't to find out if you have a personality disorder. I know a lot of you guys that don't know what a personality test just thought that I was trying to tell you guys to go see if you're narcissist and stuff. No, 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 no. What I would like to see all of you guys do that is coming out of a relationship with a narcissist is doing everything you can to get closer and closer to yourself, to have a very strong, loving relationship with yourself. Know who you are, know what you like, know what you want, okay? So there's something called, for those of you who don't know already, there's a Myers-Briggs Type Indicator, MBTI, an introspective self-report questionnaire indicating differing psychological preferences and how people perceive the world and make decisions. And it's really interesting. This isn't astrology or anything like that. This is real, and I think just you guys will get something out of this. I know, this is the biggest problem. You guys, you have to be with a narcissist, you have to lose yourself. You can't have a self. You can't have an opinion and feelings and desires. things like this, okay? So we compromised who we are and we lost ourselves, but it was easier for us to do. Why is that? So let's learn more and more and more about ourselves. Let's get involved with ourselves. Let's be interested in who we are, right? And self-examine and try and become a better and better version of ourselves all the time. And this is a great way to start. It really is. It's really neat. It should be fun. It should be entertaining. There's videos on YouTube about these things and find out what personality type you are. You guys are more than welcome to guess what I am. If you don't know, you can guess, and I'll tell you next week if you want to know. Next, what else? Actually, that's about it before I get into the questions. So I just want to say again, very much thank you, all of you, for being so interactive with other people by putting out your own experiences, by being vulnerable and letting other people see what's happened to you, to have suggestions you guys put out there on things that you've done to help you grow and heal, recover, feel better, okay? So I really, really like that. Thank you, all of you, for doing that. So let's get started with the questions. There's a lot of good ones. They're all good ones, but there's a lot of questions. So I'm gonna get started right now. First one's from Mia in Stockholm, Sweden. Hello, Mia. Hi, David. When the narcissist goes from 0 to 1,000, not 100, in 1 second and have a wild rage, it's extremely terrifying. Can you please explain narcissistic rage? Well, yes, I can. Yeah. So when I explain narcissistic rage, I kind of compare it to borderline because it's different. It gives you guys a little bit of contrast of what's going on. Help you understand a little bit more, I think. I hope. So the borderline is simply reacting to being hurt. And everything's more intense to the borderline. If you could hurt the borderline and you didn't even know. Borderline will say that you hurt them and tell you how and you didn't even do it. I mean, but they're reacting and they're unhealed, the borderline. They're unhealed from all their past previous traumas. And so when you hurt them in any way, it's just huge. And so they freak out about you being so bad, such a bad person. That's why they'll smear you, convince everyone how just a big bad monster you are. Whereas the narcissist, it will look the same. It could look the same. The narcissist goes into narcissistic rage, and that is because you are challenging who they are to their very, very persona, their self. You are challenging that. And what happens is narcissists don't really know who they are, don't have a secure sense of who they are. And they're usually shame involved. They think they're bad people, okay? And they counter it with ego. Who they are is dependent on other people's opinion. They place who they are in people's hands, okay? And they cannot determine that themselves. They can't, and there's all kinds of things that go along with that. They can't tell themselves they're okay and they'll get better and pick themselves up off the floor and things like this. It's a real finding who they are through outside external things in the world instead of doing anything for themselves internally. And so they believe who they are is left into your hands so that when you tell them that they're a bad person, they cannot handle that. They can't counter and say, well, actually, no, I'm not. I'm a pretty good person. I stick close to my morals. And no, they don't know. They're just like, what? I'm a bad person? And they can't deal with their own shame. They can't face it. It's too much. And so you're telling them they're that horrible, horrible person that they're afraid of, that they don't want to look at. You're forcing them to look at that and to start to internalize these feelings that they cannot handle. It's too much. Nobody wants to be a really bad person. Nobody can handle that. It's very psychological. It goes through thousands of years of evolution. It's how much we rely on society. And bad people are shunned from society. So instinctively, we don't want that at all. And you're telling a narcissist they're a bad person, and it can trigger every kind of fear they've ever had. Right? Fear of not being accepted, of being shunned away, maybe fear of abandonment, things like this. So I hope that makes sense. It's like the people that smear me or say something bad about me on this channel. It doesn't bother me really because I also don't put and invest everything into what anybody says. I don't look at just the good ones and say, oh, good, that's who I am. Because even the people who are being nice and giving me compliments, they still don't quite know who I am. Not as well as me. And so the good ones are nice, but they roll off my back. Just like the bad ones are bad and they roll off my back. Nobody determines who I am. I do. And that goes for all of you. Nobody determines who you are. You do. The narcissists allow everybody else to determine who they are. They compare themselves constantly. They're very shallow, materialistic, superficial, right? So I hope that makes sense, Mia. Jess from rainy Northern California. Hello, Jess. Would you consider someone that holds a grudge for a long time as splitting? And I thought about this, and I would say no. But people who split will hold grudges for a long time. So it's not the rule, right? In other words, just because somebody holds a grudge for a long time, I don't think they're necessarily... I mean, it's mild splitting, I guess. Because really, I mean, what... And then you have to get into what is a grudge, right? Is it somebody that just doesn't want to be hurt by that person anymore? Or is it somebody that just can't get over how bad they were hurt by somebody? And they can't forgive them. They can't process it. They haven't healed from it. What is a grudge, I guess? Because it's extreme. There's lots of reasons why people don't want to talk to anybody anymore or have anything to do with somebody anymore. I guess punishing them still, that's a grudge, right? If you keep them in your life and you're punishing them still, keep bringing this up, right? Borderlines and narcissists like to do that. They'll bring up what you did 15 years ago over and over and over again, right? And that's a grudge, and they're keeping you in their lives. That's harsh. And I guess that's a form of splitting. But just try to think of splitting, you know, it's like you said, it's good or bad. And so the person I have a grudge on, you're saying is bad, right? They're all bad right now. And then when I get over what they've done, then they might be all good again, right? So I could see how somebody who splits will hold grudges for sure. But I just don't want to say somebody who holds a grudge is splitting. You know, because maybe somebody hurt me really bad and they didn't apologize really, and I don't know. Does that make sense? I mean, a fear of getting hurt. Jack from, I believe, New Hampshire. Hello, Jack. Your talk about borderlines helped me understand my wife's train of thought. Good. Thanks for telling me. Do borderlines tend to behave a little better as they get older? My wife has become a little less challenging, you said, in her 40s. And it's specific. It's person specific, right? It's specific to the person, to the individual. There you go, right? Because we know what happens as we get older. Hormones decrease. It can help us, make us a little more accepting of situations in our lives, a little more tolerable, manageable. As we get older, we may find easier ways to communicate, right? So maybe a borderline's hormones balance out, you know, lower, decrease, and that makes them a little bit more comfortable with who they are. And they learn over time that it's better to talk about, I'm afraid you're leaving me, than just abandon the relationship or something. Maybe they learn that. Right? And they, you know, so they can get better. But also, I mean, try and think of all these personality disorders as a spectrum. So there's narcissists that are woo, and some that are mellow. There's borderlines that are psychotic, right? Close to psychotic, cross psychosis all the time, often. And they'll often be in psychotic episodes where they don't remember anything they're doing. And that could get worse over time. Okay? So it's specific to the individual, Jack. Just because your wife isn't hitting you anymore, or because she's not cheating on you anymore, or because she just doesn't start huge fights every other day, or she doesn't throw things at you anymore, or because she doesn't, you know, verbally abuse you as much and things like this. And maybe she's getting what you call less challenging, but you're not reaping the benefits of a marriage that most likely you value, that you're interested in. There are fruits of life that are waiting for us, okay? But not everyone gets to experience those things. I hope you do, Jack. Very difficult, if not impossible, with somebody in your life who is disordered. Thanks, Jack. Giselle from, I believe, Montana. Hello. Can you talk about a narcissist with substance abuse? He lied about being on meth for years and refused to stop smoking weed. And Giselle, you said maybe you'll contact me on my email to give me more information. And you don't need to do that. You can give me more information in the comment section. No problem. I'll answer everyone's questions, no matter how long they are, and no matter how much information you want to give me. You said to give you a better idea of what's been going on for the last 3 years. I'd recommend giving yourself more attention and more time by hiring someone to help you do that. Okay, Giselle? Figuring out everything that happened in a 3-year relationship in an email, it's just not going to work. It's not going to work. It's too much. This is too much of your life and way more important. And it should be. Your mental health should be important, Giselle, and your future. Okay? I know you want to be happy. I know you want to be successful and stuff like this. So keep asking me more questions. Right down there. Ask me anything you want. I'll answer them every week. Okay? I don't know what you want me to say about this and just talk about it. Narcissists, people with personality disorders, it's difficult for them to cope in life. It's difficult for them to navigate emotionally. It's difficult for them to maybe get up, to deal with their anxieties and depressions, just like other people. Just like life ain't easy, right, guys? Everyone, right? Life's not just peaches and cream for anybody. And I got a great life, and it's not 100% smooth sailing all the time. I have problems, and I got to fix them, and I got to do stuff, and I got to deal with certain things that cause bad feelings, and fix these things, and have control over it all the time, and be on top of it, and aware. Anyways, I don't hate on anybody that has addictions. I never. I don't judge people. I don't like to judge anybody, but especially people that have addictions. I get that, okay? A narcissist is way more likely. People with personality disorders are way more likely to have addictions than people that don't have personality disorders. Matter of fact, it blows my mind away when I see how sick some people are and they don't have addictions. It's just amazing to me, really, that your life is so unmanageable, but you don't have a sex addiction or a work addiction, or you don't just get high sometimes, get too drunk every once in a while. It's amazing. It really is. Sometimes you're just not seeing the addiction. Sometimes there is one, you're just not seeing it. I don't know what else to say than that, Giselle. You said he lied about being on meth for years and refused to stop smoking weed. Giselle, it's better to say that you don't want to date somebody that uses drugs rather than start dating somebody using drugs and trying to get them to quit. And even if you said, I didn't know he was using drugs when I started dating him. And to not know someone is using meth all the time over a long period of time isn't good. That's a bad sign for you. To not know that your partner is getting high on methamphetamines all the time in your relationship, to not realize there's something wrong. Or you did know there was something wrong, you didn't know it was that, but things need to be fixed, we can't let them go, okay? People can tell me, and addictions are the worst, man. People will tell you anything you want to hear, but you have to realize, everybody, addictions are number 1 in people's lives, period. So if you have a partner with an addiction, you're number 2. And they're going to tell you whatever you want to hear to keep you around because life's hard and they need you too. Hope you get that. And when it comes right down to it, most of the time, they choose their drug, their sex, their alcohol, their work over you. Sara from Denmark. Hello, Sara. Where are we on time? How do you think it is never to get what you want? Oh, sorry. This is a poem from Sara. Sara likes to leave me poems every once in a while, and I like to read them. So this is a new one from Sara from Denmark, which Sara is always worried about her English, but your English is wonderful. How do you think it is never to get what you want most from him who says he loves you? Then you just live in the shadow of him. That's beautiful. Totally. You can't have a self with a narcissist. If you're in a relationship where you're living in the shadow of a person, that means you've lost yourself. People ask me quite often, how do I live with my narcissist? How do I make it so he just doesn't abuse me? How do I do it? It's like no self. So you say yes to everything. You have no morals. Who cares what you want, what you like? Who cares what's important to you? Who cares how you feel, what you're thinking? Nothing. That's it. Yeah, good one, Sarah. I love it. Let's do one more, I think. And universe, and I'd love to know where you're from. That reminds me, please, everyone leave your locations. Ask a question, tell me where you are from. Thank you. Does the hypervigilance symptom include fear of being watched and stalked? Completely. Yeah, totally. Totally. It can cause paranoia. Big time. Why do you guys think that narcissists and people that are disordered, sociopaths, psychopaths are paranoid? Hypervigilance. Their cortisol, which is your stress chemical, and is out of whack, and your adrenaline. Your adrenaline, right? Adrenaline makes you do crazy things. Oh no, God, you got to run to get away from somebody for a mile as fast as you can. Oh God, right? And instead, you're just sitting in a chair and someone's emotionally screwing with your head. And so you feel that, but you're not moving. And then you don't. Then you don't go release all that adrenaline and it's flowing through you. And then even when you're sleeping, it's flowing through you because your brain just keeps up making up scenarios over and over and over again. This is what happens when we ignore danger. The reason we were in abusive relationships, I say this all the time, is because your parents neglected you. And I know a bunch of you are going, no, they didn't, David. You don't know. No, you don't know. You were too young and you have nothing to compare it to. I know because you're in relationships where they neglect you and you accept that. Children who are given all the emotional attention they need don't accept neglect in their adulthood. Why would they? That's so foreign to them, it's insane. But to us, to me and you guys, normal. Somebody does ask me how they feel, why would they? Someone started asking me how I feel. What? Why? The hell do you want? So, fear. Hypervigilance is fear. Hypervigilance is looking for danger. Hypervigilance is keeping us afraid, so we're ready to go at all times. So we wake up every 2 hours and we're looking for the train that's about to run us over, right? We didn't realize we fell asleep on train tracks. We experience danger. When we were children, we were neglected, and that's danger. Our hormones go crazy, our emotions go crazy in seconds, and it's traumatic. It causes trauma, causes childhood attachment trauma. And we don't remember, we don't know this. What else were you doing at 6 months, a month old, 2 years, 5 years? You don't remember. I know people don't remember any of their childhood. So we had danger as children. Parents didn't remove us. That's what we learned. Don't move. You guys that have danger happen and you start to get weak and fall down and you feel like your knees are going to give out and stuff, you're doing exactly what you were taught. Nothing. Danger, danger. Oh, stay right here. Don't leave. That's what I did when I was a kid. And now that's what I do in my relationships. Someone causes danger and I stay right here. I don't leave. That is massive, massive cortisol. It's once cortisol serves us, right? Here's danger, remove yourself. It's over. Cortisol levels must be like this, must flow like this. Anxiety, panic is spikes. We're used to being abused and not doing anything about it. We're used to someone freaking us out and saying they're going to, I love you so much. And then 1 minute later, they're going to leave and your whole life is over. And you got to move out of your house and you might have to quit your job and all this stuff. And we're like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And then we don't do anything about it. We just tell them, please stop. I love you. Please, I'll be better. I'll change. And they're like, oh, I don't know. I'm going to punish you for a couple days and I'll come back. Okay. And you're like, okay. And you wait for a couple days and they come back and you're like, I love you, honey. And they're like, yeah, we'll see. And then they abuse you some more and you're like, oh my God, this is crazy. I don't know what to do. I'm too ashamed to tell anybody. I feel too unworthy to ask for help. Oh God. And you just stay and stay and stay, but you don't do anything about the danger. And your cortisol levels are going, Jesus fucking Christ, do something about this, David. And the adrenaline's like, here you go, David. You can lift a car if you want to, if you need to, whatever you need to do to get away. And nothing, I'm going to stay right here. Then after maybe 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20, 30, you start to feel like maybe your ex is stalking you. I'm so afraid that they're going to Hoover me. Oh my God. Why? What's the big deal if they call your phone? Right? Oh, because all this goes, oh. Yeah, because we didn't stop it. Hope that makes sense. Thanks for asking. Beautiful question. Let's see here. Where are we now? And real quick, 2 questions from Darnell in Illinois. Hello, Darnell. Can you describe cognitive behavioral therapy and which in the cluster B complex can fall victim to this? All of them. Everybody can fall victim to well, that's not a sickness or an illness. It's just behavior. You're saying who can fall victim to this? You mean who might need this? It could benefit everyone in the world. But almost everyone with a personality disorder is going to be recommended some kind of cognitive therapy. Cognitive behavioral therapy, what is that? Basically, it's being more aware of the decisions and choices you're making, right? So many of us say, I don't know why we made choices like this. We don't even stop and think. We don't even know what we want. We don't even know who we are. And we're making big choices like this fast. Boom, 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 boom. Wrong, error, mistake, oops, right? Let's slow it down. Let's use our cognitive skills. Let's use what we see. Let's use what we hear. Let's use, how we use our communication and how we use our thinking. And let's brush these skills up and start being really aware of the process of what I'm doing, of what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, and what I'm doing. Okay? So without getting into the technicalities of exactly how they do that, it's basically getting somebody else to help you be super aware of the things you probably weren't aware of, to use your cognitive skills better, fine-tune. Anybody, this could help anyone. I recommended a couple months ago a book. It was something like Cognitive Behavioral Therapy for Dummies, real simple, 101. Can a borderline have empathy? Sure, why not? They sure look like they don't sometimes, don't they? And a borderline could not have empathy. Nothing in there says that they can't. All these symptoms in all 10 personality disorders are extremely overlapping, guys. Extremely. Well, my borderline seems like a narcissist because they don't have any empathy. Maybe they don't. That doesn't mean they're a narcissist. Right? They've got 9 out of 9 traits of borderline. They got 3 of narcissism. One is they don't have empathy, or appears that way sometimes. Because it's not easy to know if somebody has empathy or not, actually. It cannot be that easy. Hope that helps. Please keep asking me more questions, Darnell, if that doesn't help. And that's your 2 questions. I know you have 2 more, and I'm going to have to do those in part 2, everybody. Thank you for part 1. Like I said before, if you can help me by subscribing, voting, commenting, and posting this video in places. Thanks, guys. I'll see you in part 2. Love yourself first. Bye.